All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Shai, Ba'ashem Kodash, the Blanos to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect wishing swear in truth and in sincerity, with the hope of receiving mercy of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Shai. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father. Yahweh Shai is the name of his only begotten Son. You so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the Israelites according to the prophecies that are written in the scriptures. I want to make it known that RFID microchip is the MOTB. The serpent juice is the precursor to the MOTB. Yahweh Shai, whom dwelling nearly called Jesus, is about to make his return upon the earth to deliver his elect and to pour out judgment as it is written. So I want to go straight into this lesson concerning there shall be no peace. You hear DJ Chum recently celebrating the peace deal with them break in Egypt recently between Israel and Palestine, in which none of the two actors in the conflict weren't present. But in their mind, that's a form of peace, not knowing that Yahweh shall control it, the hearts of men, as is written in Proverbs 21, verse 1. So the king's heart is in the hands of the Lord. And he, matter of fact, let me go to that precept and come back to this. So this is Proverbs 21, verse 1. The king's heart is in the hands of Yahweh. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So they might believe in their minds that they might go towards a peace deal. But there shall be no peace, yo. Yahweh is the one that is mustering those at the battle. So I want to play this clip.
Let's talk about Ukraine. Let's talk about Russia and where things stand right now in this war. And then we're going to talk about Venezuela a little bit later. Well, is Putin done with talking? Are we? Everything is done, but the bombing campaign right now. Are we done with talking? Are we done with diplomacy? Let's bring in Colonel Douglas Macgregor now to talk about where things stand in the current war, and then I want to talk about some other things with him just coming up after the break. Colonel, it seems like, well, these peace talks falling apart. Doesn't really seem to be much of an appetite for peace in the West. I don't exactly know what's.
So you hear that? These peace talks are falling apart. Hey man, they weren't coming together from the beginning. And that is the thing that people don't understand, These things are going to just intensify and escalate.
Happening here, this back and forth, Trump saying it's on, then it's off, this Budapest peace summit. Putin seems like he's done listening to all of these fools in the West right now. What will become of this war?
Well, the war is going to continue until the Russians end it on terms that they're happy with. I think that's been true for a long time now. There's no question about who is prevailing on the battlefield. So that's a foregone conclusion. I think what Putin was looking for was something more than a meaningless ceasefire, which would have left the Zelensky regime in power, changed nothing fundamentally inside Ukraine. What he wants, obviously, is a neutral Ukraine that's not going to present a threat to Russia in the future. I think President Trump would like to give him that. But President Trump is surrounded by people who are telling him he can't do it. And their reason is very simple. We cannot be humiliated by Russia as though we're being humiliated. President Trump needs to get back to what he said earlier. This is President Biden's war. President Biden built Ukraine up into this dangerous military monster that was trying to destroy Russia. We don't have any interest in that. We want to normalize relations with Russia. We can get along with Russia. That was Trump's mantra. He needs to get back to it. We have nothing to gain by war with Russia. We have everything to gain by establishing peace in Ukraine. And I think that's...
You know what I want to say? That's the reason why I'm doing this video. Because it's all about we doing this and we doing that. It's Yahweh Shimei Shai who's the one who's putting these desire in the hearts of the kings, the rulers, you know, because right now you see a transpire between Russia and Ukraine. This is just a little proxy war for the main event to come, you know, in which it's going to be World War III. And you have countries like China, Iran, you know, Russia against America and their allies until America's allies even turn against them. This is what's coming. This is what the scripture speaks about, yo. So let's go back into it. This is 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 1. It's about of the seasons, so like about of the times and the seasons, brethren. Ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourself know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travaileth upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. And you know where they're going to say that peace and safety is not during these peace deals. It's going to be when majority of the earth has taken the RFID microchip, you know, and then believe that they're going to be successful in their enterprise. Yeah, how about Shimei Shai throw a monkey wrench in it, yo? Mash up the gears. You know? So right now them have some false hope of peace that is not gonna come to reality. Because you gotta have more escalation. Right now, US are trying to achieve peace, so called, you know. But look what them are doing in their own backyard. Let's take a listen.
Well, war with Venezuela seems inevitable at this point. Even President Trump yesterday admitted that another war is coming soon. He seemed excited about it. Meanwhile, this morning, another Venezuelan boat was just destroyed. Libs of TikTok just posted this, boasting, Trump just smoked another drug boat. Cry harder, Libs. This is exactly what I voted for. Did you vote for indiscriminate killing of people in a foreign country with no proof other than what the Trust Me Bro intel agencies are telling you? Okay. Senator Rand Paul is not buying this bullshit. He says, by the way, they don't even make fentanyl, and we're falling for it. Watch.
We have dangerous people in a lot of American cities, but we just don't go in and shoot them. I mean, we have trials, they get legal representation, and even on the high seas, it's been that way for generations. If you go off the coast of Miami, the Coast Guard will be stopping boats today, and about 25% of the boats that they stop, that they're suspicious of drugs, there won't be any drugs on board. So 25% of the time the suspicion is wrong, and that's why we don't shoot and just blow up boats off of Miami, but neither should we be blowing them up off the coast of Venezuela. Number one, there is no fentanyl made in Venezuela. Not just a little bit, there's none being made in Venezuela. These are outboard boats that in order for them to get to Miami would have to stop and refuel 20 times. They're in all likely going to Trinidad and Tobago, which is an island right off of the coast of Venezuela. So there's a lot of reasons to be worried about this. But number one is the broader principle of when can you...
And this is why the scripture refers to America as being the armor of the whole earth. And that's why a lot of people are got surprised when America fall. Because in their eyes, just as in those that lived in the ancient world, you know, they never know so Rome could have fall. They never know say Greece could have fall. They never know say the Media Persia Empire would have fall, the Babylonian Empire would have fall, the Assyria Empire would have fall, you know, the Akkadian Empire would have fall. Because at that time, the empire that was, those empire rule, the rule with them of them time there, you know, and the dominance with them of over other countries, you're gonna see these countries fall. But they did, you know. And America is gonna be the worst of the worst to ever fall, yo. There will be no coming back. Dust and ashes. So this is I want to say Jeremiah. I want to say 50 verse 22. Let's see if I'm right. Alright, a sound of battle is in the land, and of great destruction. And this is which land? America. Mr. Babylon the Great. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder? And that's a question where a lot of people are going to wrestle with, yo. Oh, America, that have been glorified as the biggest military might, fall. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? And this is what they're going to be, yo, a desolate wilderness. I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against Yahweh. So you don't even know, so the Lord had set traps for you, yo. So all these altercations where you get yourself in, you know, where you believe, say, you come out on top, you just drawing to yourself more enemies. More enemies. Because America is going to be destroyed from within first. And then the ICBMs are going to do the rest, that are capable of carrying multiple nuclear warheads. Thus say the scriptures, yo. Verse 25. Yahweh had opened his armory, and had brought forth the weapon of his indignation, for this is the work of Yahweh, of the Lord Yahweh of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. And the Chaldeans represent who now? The elites of Edom. Those that are ruling from the shadows, yo.
When can you kill people indiscriminately? When you were at war. That's why when we declare war, it's supposed to be done by Congress. It's supposed to be thoughtful. It's supposed to be debated. And we're not supposed to do it willy-nilly. And then when you have war, you just kill people in the war zone. And even then there are rules of engagement. But interdicting drugs has always been a criminal activity and a criminal anti-crime sort of activity where we don't just summarily execute people. We actually present evidence and convict them.
Colonel Douglas Macgregor joins us again here on the show to talk about this. Colonel, I know I saw you the other day saying that they're making very little drugs at all. And why aren't we focused on Colombia, Honduras, Mexico, other places in the world, far more of a threat to the United States?
Yes, that's a good question. But just for ask the question in itself. Just for you to ask the question there, yo. You know, so something is up. What's the underlying reason for this type of aggression against Venezuela? Their resources, yo. And what them a do right now, you know, them a send out them ships, you know, to cause some level of, what do they call this now? Fear in the Venezuelans, you know, believing that they at any time they could be in war with America, so that they may come up against Maduro. It's just another scare tactic, yo. When you learn about various stages of ideological subversion, you have a lot of tactic to it. You know, how to demoralize the population so they may rise up against the government, sending insurgents to do coup. But for all these things, you know, what America do right now, as I said, they're just building enemies onto themselves for their destruction to come. So I won't make this video very long. I was just here going through these clips and I was like, why not just make a video? So, you know. So I hope this was edifying with that. Asakalal, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Yahweh Kodash, Shalom.